You probably think that more sales, more leads, and a bigger list is going to fix all your problems. It's just not the case. There are three problems you have to solve first in your coaching, speaking, or even service provider business. I've got more than 20 years of experience solving these problems, and I want to help you with that today. Let's jump into it. So, I'm a coach for 7 and 8 figure founders who want to optimize their businesses or feel stuck in certain areas. Yes, even 7 and 8 figure founders get stuck in some of the same areas that you do. You might be like Erica, who had problem number one that we solved like this, or maybe you're like Heather, who we had to solve pretty hard for this middle one, but once she did, she felt safer to grow. She felt more free. Or maybe you're like this company that I helped, that when they grew and added more clients and more sales, it was costing them more and more and more. But I don't want to give away that secret yet. We're going to talk about these stories, how you can solve for them. I want you to make sure that you register for the intensive that I'm hosting to help you solve for all three of these things and more. Let's jump into it. Number one is you are maxed out. And what do I mean by maxed out? I mean, maybe you're like my client, Jenna, or my client, Erica. Erica literally emailed me from under the covers one day and said, I have so much client work that I almost can't function. I don't know what to do next. And I'm at an income ceiling. I am maxed out. What can I do? And I said to her, Erica, that's an easy solve. There are 3 steps we can solve that within that one issue. Your problem is not that you're not good at what you do. I know you're good at what you do. Your problem is not even necessarily what you're charging. It might be how you're charging, but let's talk about how we can increase capacity for you. So when I say that word capacity, it might make you nervous. The word capacity might make you think, oh, I'm going to have to do more and more and more. Well, in Dan Sullivan and Ben Hardy's book, 10X is easier than 2X, they talk about the fact that sometimes doubling your business is actually much harder than 10X because our brain goes to work in different solutions. This solving of problem number one, being maxed out, immediately increases your client capacity, immediately increases profit margin too. And it helps you have more energy and lets you love your business again. In the case of Jenna and Erica, we freed up 15 to 20 immediate hours a week and increased their bottom line. I'd love to tell you how we're going to do that in the masterclass, but that's maxed out. So it may be that you think more sales will solve the problem. You may think that you immediately need to hire more people or automate more things. Not necessarily. The first thing we change is the capacity for your hours being maxed out, because what I don't want you to think is you have to add a lot more work hours, that you have to be on hustle and grind all the time, and that you have to be going 24/7. So that's maxed out. Let's go into problem number 2. Woohoo! It magically appeared again. Okay, this one is burnt out, maybe even bummed out. What do I mean by that? You're amazing at what you do. You're working in your genius zone, but things are falling through the cracks. But you're resenting new client work, or even some of your existing clients. You're not loving how things are going right now. You have maybe even hired help or thought a VA would solve all your problems, or some automation would solve all your problems, but it's created even more and more work that hasn't been helpful because you're still stuck in the middle of it. We can solve for burnt out and bummed out too. We can make sure you're tracking client success. We can make sure clients are being beautifully onboarded. We can install just a couple of things like we did for Ross, who went from lots and lots of client onboarding and one-to-one. And when he created a sale, it created a whole lot of extra work before he could even start serving the client. Have you ever been there? So what happens is our psychology kind of plays games with us, and it starts resisting the marketing and resisting the new sales, which then shuts off cash flow, right? So we have to solve for being burnt out or bummed out because you're not serving in the most beautiful way possible, elegantly, and in some cases, even automation. So, we're going to dig into the masterclass and we're going to talk about some simple ways to solve for that are low cost, some no cost, and they don't require a big fancy team of coaches or a big fancy admin team or any complicated technology. Let's get that solved for you like we did for those others. Now, let's move on to number 3. Number 3 is tapped out. What do I mean by tapped out? Tapped out means you are cash poor. You may have a lot of great clients. You may have had an amazing launch. You may be have a great team and things are functioning well, but you don't feel like you're making any money. I was talking to Jackson one time. He works in wealth management, and I said this phenomenon to me. I call this rich but broke. We have sales, we have a great business, we had a big launch, but where did the money go? You're tapped out. Maybe because you've spent on your team to solve your problems, but the ROI is not coming back in. Maybe you don't know specifically how much it costs you, not only to acquire every new customer, but to serve every new customer. I worked with an organization that the more we grew, the more it seemed like our margins went down and our available cash flow went down, and we were stressed about more and more and more sales. It's like more sales led to a need for more sales. And it's because we were tapped out. When we dug into what it was costing us per month and per year and per term of the client to serve, we saw where there were some inefficiencies and some bloat, so that the more clients we were serving, we were losing money. We were going backwards. I know that sounds bananas, but if you're tapped out and you're feeling like the better you do, the worse you do, we're going to solve for that too, just like we did for that company and just like we can do when we increase your margins. Now, I love to work with business owners on increasing the 3 margins of time, energy, and profit. But at the core of it, it goes to capacity. I know the buzzwords in the industry right now are help me scale my business, help me scale my business. But if you don't have the capacity energetically, emotionally, financially, or hour-wise, it will burn you out and break you down. And so I want to help you solve for that. We're going to increase your capacity. Working in this industry for over 20 years with thousands of clients, raising 4 kids at the same time, with a husband that travels and not a big staff. I keep it pretty lean and mean and tight around here. I would say I've developed the skills and reverse engineered the process to increase your capacity. How does this sound? What if you had infinite client capacity? We're going to do some numbers on that in a video tomorrow, and I want to link that up here. But first, I want you to register for the intensive that I'm doing, absolutely free to you, the Infinite Client Capacity Intensive, ICCI. We're going to spend several hours together. Again, no cost to you. I'm going to break down how to solve all of these things. By increasing your capacity, you will be able to take action on some things inside of the intensive. You're not going to leave with a list of things to do. You're going to leave with a list of things to done. And you're going to take that power back, watch your calendar hours free themselves up almost magically. And I'm even going to show you how I can cut your hours in half, cut your working hours in half, and more than double your profit margins, not just your sales, but your margins. Does that sound good? Register for that free class at the link you see below, and you will get immediate details. I can't wait to spend those hours with you. Let's get you room for infinite clients without taking any more of your time, without burning you out, maxing you out, or tapping you out. I'll see you there.
Carrie's brilliant, and she sees things that you don't. So if you've spent any time with her, you already know this to be true. She knows the questions you should be asking.
wanted to thank you more for just who you are, who you show up to be, and how much that it really helps me.
I wasn't engaging with the sales process at the level I should have been, because every time I signed a new client, it was a bunch of one-on-one onboarding, and also I wasn't fully confident in, just dropping someone into my program. With her help, we kind of reverse engineered what an amazing on-ramp client onboarding experience would be. The people coming into this on-ramp consistently tell me this is one of the best on-ramp experiences I've seen. And from my perspective, I can look at the back-end numbers in my business. Churn has gone way down. Student engagement is way up. And it's very exciting for me because people are now just showing up to my calls, knowing what they're working on and taking action.
She gives. It's the most generous coach you'll ever meet. The most fervent cheerleader you'll ever have.